Wow. Again? Damn, man. Ever since my 16th birthday, I've been getting this weird dream with an old man telling me my life story up to this point. Very mysterious indeed, wouldn't you say? Who is this strange old man that keeps appearing in my dreams? We will find out eventually. But it won't be this video, I guarantee you. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to show off some more crafting. Because, you know, that's the thing to do. And look at that, there's a doggy over there. Hey, doggy. What's going on, doggy? Why is that doggy there? Oh, hey, now it's sniffing us. Interesting. Well, whatever. Let's take a look around. This doggy can follow us around and just hang out with us. He looks like a nice doggy. Doesn't he? I think he looks nice. Anyway. Yeah, around this area we should be able to find another recipe book. Yeah, there we go, small scale. More copper ore. We're gonna need those copper ores pretty soon here. And we get economics of scale. And we learned how to make scale shields and scale armor. I don't really care about the scale shields too much, really. I'll probably at least make one for a character later. But I definitely want to make scale armor, for sure, for the Luminary. Alright, let's go towards this bridge over here. Oh wait, there's a well over. Oh no, it's boarded up. Never mind. Never mind. Man, somebody screwed up this bridge. That sucks. Oh, whatever. Let's go this way. Oh, look at this. Some kind of weird freaking thing we can examine. Oh, we'll be making use of it. And yeah, pretty much you're going to be using the fun size forge to make the best equipment in the game. And to upgrade existing equipment to make it better. If you don't use the fun size forge in this game, especially if you're playing on Draconian, you're definitely going to have a harder time.
Chop, chop, chop. Chop around the clock. 1, 2, 3, look out, trees. Oh, a woodcutter's life is the life for me. What in the world? I repaired the bridge only yesterday, and now some blighter's gone and destroyed it again. If I ever find out who did this, I swear I'll...
Ta-da! You called? Tricky devil at your service.
The hell? These guys from Dragon Quest VII?
I went to a lot of trouble to smash at this.
That's where I remember them from.
I'm not about to let you fix it again. Here, get a load of my devilishly tricky shapeshift beam.
Oh.
Now that's what I call tricky. 1 minute you're a silly old woodcutter, the next minute you're a smelly old dog. I'm a devilish genius. Now, what mischief shall I get up to next? Oh, so much trouble to cause so little time. Bye, doggy. Stay. Ooh. An empty treasure chest. I think I've just hit upon my most devilish trick yet.
Yeah, it's that treasure chest that I found earlier, except it was empty, and yeah, for some reason he wasn't in it at the time. Whatever.
What the heck just happened? You touched that plant and then I saw all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
You really expect me to believe that this mutt here is actually the woodcutter?
That is what it seems, isn't it?
Huh. There's never a dull moment with you around. I'm gladder every day I broke you out of jail.
Me too.
Well, all I know for sure is that we're never going to get out of this forest until we get that bridge fixed.
Alright.
And if what we just saw was true, Rover here is the only one who can fix it.
Over.
Why don't we find that chest and have a word with our mischievous friend?
Alright.
Let's head back the way we came and see if we missed it somewhere.
Yeah, we did. We didn't miss it, though. We just missed him, for some reason. We can watch it again? Okay, well I didn't know we could do that. A lot of times when you watch those things, they don't allow you to watch them again. But whatever. Anyway, let's do some crafting. I'm also going to be doing some upgrading too. Let's see, that takes one. I need one for that. That takes two. Okay, this takes one and a small scale. Okay, let's make one of these. Probably gonna want to make one of these. Nice. Really well, okay. +2. And we have a scale armor that we can make now. Nice. Okay, +2. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother trying to +3 this stuff. The scale stuff. Not worth it, but if you can forge it with a +2 rating right off the bat, that's what you want, man. Oh, and another thing I need to mention about Perfectionist Pearls, let's say you forge something and you fail to get at least a +1 rating while forging, you won't be awarded any Perfectionist Pearls. So every time you forge something, you definitely want to try to at least get +1, okay? That way you're not, you know, wasting your ingredients or wasting chances to get perfectionist pearls, because yeah, at this point in the game you can't buy them, so you're gonna need to excuse me, you're gonna need to make equipment to get them, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, sorry about my voice right now, man. I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold or something like that, but I might be. Woke up and my freaking voice is all scratchy and shit. Yeah, we're just gonna pound these things. Oh, come on. Yeah, sometimes you pound too hard and you miss the mark. Really well. Okay, +2, whatever. I wasn't gonna upgrade the cobblestone greatsword at first, but I said, "Eh, why not? Fuck it." Yeah, I definitely want to upgrade the healer accessory, because look at this. You can upgrade this so you can get +10 HP regeneration per turn. And then the supplicant, you can upgrade this so it's +3 MP per turn, which is very handy. Very good in the beginning. Eventually these accessories will get outclassed, but for the beginning of the game, you can't get much better than the healer and the supplicant, man. Mostly. I mean, these are just really nice accessories to have. Pretty well, whatever. If you're trying to get +3 first time and you don't get it, don't get discouraged, because the next time you try to upgrade it from like you know, +1 or +2, it gets easier to upgrade stuff. My first inclinations when I started playing this game was to reset the game, but whatever you do, don't do that, because the game will actually penalize you by not allowing you to use the forge. Let's say you make a gear and it doesn't turn out the way you want and you freaking reload your save. The game will actually know that you're doing this, and you won't be able to use your fun-size forge for like, I think like 5 minutes or something like that. Like the game will tell you, oh, the forge is too hot, you can't use it, or something like that. So whatever you do, don't reload and save your game, or don't reload your save game when you fail at reworking an item or forging, because the game actually knows you're trying to do this and will penalize you for it by not allowing you to use your forge again. So yeah. Just a little word of advice. Alright, so let's make a divine dagger. Yeah, this dagger right here for Erik is pretty good. Ooh, I might be able to +3 this. Really well, I don't +2 at least. Which isn't bad. Okay, so we got a divine dagger +2. I guess I'll equip this on Erik. Let's see, we can get a +23 with Erik's dagger. Also gives a +5 bonus to deafness. And with the divine dagger, ooh. Yeah, as you can see, the attack power for this weapon isn't as good as Erik's dagger, but it does bonus damage to undead, which is kind of cool, I guess. I'll definitely keep it around. I'm going to want to upgrade Erik's dagger, though, because the attack power is just better. Oh, well, actually, it's only 3 better, so maybe I shouldn't even care that much. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go with the Divine Dagger. 3 attack power is negligible. It doesn't even matter. Did I already make scale armor? I don't even remember now. Oh yeah, I did. Oh, which means I can pass down that leather armor to Erik. There we go. Alright, so I need more Perfectionist Pearls, right? So what I want to do is I just want to make gear that... Yeah, those take 2 copper ores, so that's not really going to be worth my while at the moment. Yeah, this one's going to be a +1. Pretty well? Oh no, pretty well is +1. What am I thinking? Alright, let's try the healer again. Hopefully I can +3 at this time. Nice. Nice. Brilliantly. Perfect. Yeah. Got lucky on this one. But yeah, as you saw there, I was able to perfect it after getting it to +1. So again, don't get discouraged if you don't max it out right away. You might have to get more pearls to max it out, but that's alright. Not a big deal. It's better to do that than trying to reset your game. Trust me. Alright. So the next thing on my bucket list would be the Supplicant. And I don't think there's any other gear I really care to upgrade too much. I think we find another boomerang pretty soon. Oh, there we go. Big hitter. What's more is, ooh. Wouldn't mind upgrading my sword one more time. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much upgrading in a nutshell, man. There is some element of luck to it, of course. Yeah. Whatever. As long as I get my Perfectionist Pearls, that's all I really want. Yeah, all these other recipes require like 2 copper ores. Oh, except for this one. I guess I'm making more shields. I'm making one more shield anyways. Huh. Yeah. You know, I wasn't going to show all this crafting at first, but I figured it's a good idea that I show you what I'm doing. That way, you know, you guys won't have questions, hopefully. Alright, so let's go ahead and rework the supplicant. Nice. Ooh. Really well. Okay, +2. That's not bad to start out. In fact, I might just leave it at +2. Start out here. I don't think I need +3 MP right away. I'd like some different recipes. That way I can get more perfectionist pearls easier. Because I'm kind of limited with the recipes I have right now. But yeah, that's probably good enough right there. Alright, for the next part of this video, I might as well get this out of the way, but I need to explain some things about the hero, or the Luminary. Yeah, and if you check the status, you'll get like different titles depending on where you are in the story and shit, like Erik is a career criminal. And yes, I'm a fugitive luminary. Anyways, yeah, those are the stats, spells, abilities. Alright, so here's the skills. You can actually look at the skills in your character builder in the attributes menu here. So let's go over the skills. You got passives for swords that increase attack power and critical hit rate. You got sword stance, which I think it increases your parry chance by 1/3, like 33% or something like that. I'm not sure what it is for the one-handed swords, but I definitely know that great sword guard increases your parry chance by 33%. I don't remember what it is for the one-handed swords. It might be the same for all I remember. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of one-hand sword skills in this game. Most of them are kind of lacking. I don't know. Dragon Slash is pretty good though. You can deal double damage to dragons. Metal Slash does like 1 extra damage to metal enemies. I think it does 50% more damage to mechanical enemies, I think. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. If you know, drop it in the comments section. I don't use Metal Slash. In fact, I don't really like one-handed sword skills. I played the game the first time with one-handed swords, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like them. My second and third playthroughs I played with great swords, and yeah, I just like them way better. But yeah, under sword skills you get dual wielding, which for the hero is, who cares? Because the left hand doesn't deal as much damage as the right hand anyways, so I don't know, man. I think dual wielding is kind of worthless for the hero, or the Luminary. It's good for Erik, but for any other character in the game that gets dual wielding, it's not really that good. I don't know. There's certain cases where other characters could benefit from dual wielding if certain weapons have passives and stats that are really good, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of dual wielding. Alright, here we go. Great swords. Great sword guard. Amazing. This combo is really good with another skill that I'll talk about eventually, but yeah, you want to get these passives here because these help your freaking attack power and your critical chance with great swords. Helicopter swipes at a group of enemies with a great swing of the sword. Now, what this skill here does, I believe it does like 80% of your base attack power, and it hits like the entire enemy group. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not really a huge fan of the skill. I don't really use it all that much. I mean, if I want to hit an enemy group, I'll just use a spell. I mean, the Luminary gets spells. He gets, you know, sizz spells. He gets booms. He gets spells that you can use. So you don't need helicopter, really. Alright, cutting edge. This skill right here does about 1.75 to about 2.1 variable damage times your base attack power. So basically, you do double damage at best with this skill. So it's not bad. There is a better version of it though. Yeah, more attack power. Frost Fangs. Fires frosty projectiles at a group of enemies that can freeze them to the spot. Is that even possible? Because I've never seen enemies being frozen with this skill. In fact, every time I've used this skill, it's been very underwhelming. But yeah, some pet powers are tied to skills, so you don't want to completely ignore skills, but I never really liked this one all that much. I don't know. Yeah, you want to pick this one up, and you want to pick this one up, but here we go. Unbridled Blade. This is your bread and butter skill of great swords. Single target damage does around 3 times your base attack power. Freaking amazing damage. And you can oomph it. You can oomph this attack. So it's extremely good. You can basically do like 4.5 times the base damage of your attacks with great swords. And that's a lot of damage because great swords have a lot of attack power. So yeah, Unbridled Blade is amazing. One of the best skills in the game. The only downside to this skill is it never criticals, and well, the enemies they can block and parry it too. So there's a chance that you can miss. But even still, even with that, I mean, this skill is just awesome, man. You want to get Unbridled Blade as quick as possible. So most of my points are going to be going into great swords in the beginning. Alright, then you have Sword Mastery, where you got some extra skills. Falcon Slash is one-handed sword skill, but it's under Sword Mastery for some reason. But whatever, that's where you unlock it. More critical chance, this is universal across all weapon types. Giga Slash, this is a one-handed sword technique that does variable damage between a certain range based on your magical might stat. So yeah, if the maximum amount of damage that Giga Slash can do is 280, for example, yeah, that just means that you've acquired the magical might necessary to maximize the damage with the skill, if that makes any sense. This skill right here, counter when blocking, parrying, this actually combos extremely well with Greatsword Guard. When you activate Greatsword Guard and you have this passive also unlocked, you will counterattack at your base attack power randomly. It won't happen every time, but there's a good chance that you'll counterattack. It's freaking awesome. Very good skill to have. Definitely pick this up as soon as you can. Strength plus 25. Again, you can't complain about this. I mean, universal strength buff. Yeah, you want it, obviously. Giga Smash is essentially the upgraded version of Giga Slash. Just does a little bit more damage. There's not really much to say about it. Of course, Magical Might affects the damage. Sword Dance randomly slices through a group of enemies with 4 controlled cuts. So if you're attacking a group with Sword Dance, yeah, you can't control where the hits go. If you're attacking a single target, you'll attack them with 4 controlled cuts. Probably the best one-handed sword skill in the game. However, compared to Unbridled Blade, is not very powerful. Trust me. Throw that fucking one-handed sword away. Don't use freaking one-handed swords, alright? Great swords. Great swords are the shit. And then you have Luminary skills. You get more pep chance. You get the Zap spell, which is pretty good against enemies weak to lightning damage, especially machines. I'm going to want to pick this up later. In the beginning of the game, you don't really run into too many enemies that are well, they're susceptible to sap, but they're not really weak to it. I don't know, you don't run into a lot of machines in the early going, so I'm not going to be getting this skill right away, but eventually, obviously, I will. Poof. Targets all enemies and makes them disappear. I don't understand why the hell anybody would use this ability, but hey, it's there. I think if you use this and the enemies disappear, I want to say that you don't get experience for that fight either. I don't know. Maybe this is a good alternative to running in case you get in a jam. I don't know. I've never used it. If you know if this skill is useful, drop it in the comments section, man. I appreciate it. Holy Protection. Yeah, it generates a holy aura that causes weaker monsters to avoid the party. I believe it's 10 levels below yours and they'll run away. I think that's how it works. And this will also protect you on the ocean from encounters if the enemies are weaker than you. Probably more important on the ocean, to be honest, because the encounters are randomized, just like in the previous games. Okay, here we go. Pep Up. This is one of the best skills in the early going. Brings all the user's powers to bear in order to achieve instant pep. 25 MP cost. That's the only thing bad about the skill, is the MP cost. Otherwise, being able to instantly pep up is really good. And then, of course, getting more strength and resilience through the Luminary skill tree is also a good thing. Yeah, the Luminary and Swordmaster stat buffs, these are universal no matter which weapon you're using. So keep that in mind. The ones that you get under Great Swords and Swords, though, these are tied to the weapon. Okay? So you only get this, like, for example, this critical hit chance when wielding. When you see when wielding, that means it's tied to that weapon. So it doesn't count when, if you say you switch to swords. So, there you go. That, in a nutshell, is Luminary skills. Alright? And I guess, as long as I'm going here. Jeez, I've already been recording for a half hour now. You know what? I might as well go over Erik's too. We'll just make this a tutorial video. Alright, right now, it looks like Erik has a lot of good sword skills, but he doesn't at the moment. He pretty much has everything up to Miracle Slash, and then all these right here. All his best ones, like these two passives and Fatal Flash and Duly Deadly, these are actually blacked out. So you can't get these at this point in the game in Act 1. Even though they're here in the menu and you can see them, you can't actually access these. Yeah, as you can see, these two buffs here, and then I think this is Fatal Flash right here. But as you can see, you can't access it. And then this is Duly Deadly. So yeah, right now I would focus on getting half inch to start out, and then I would start putting points in the knives to try and get Cobra Strike. Now Cobra Strike is going to be useful for two reasons. For one, putting poison on monsters, especially bosses, is a good idea because, I mean, if you're dealing dot damage or damage over time, that's a good thing because, I mean, fuck, I mean, more damage is more damage. And then if you get the Victimizer skill, you can basically do 6 times the damage against poison or paralyzed enemies. 6 times the damage, which is freaking amazing. Anyway. Yeah, I should probably go over the skills more like this. But yeah, I'm not going to be using swords for the first act of the game, so just know that pretty much all Erik's sword skills suck except for the passives. The only one I would bother with is Fatal Flash, but again, we can't access this one right now, but this is one of the best skills in the game. It does like 2.8 times your base attack power, and if you combo it with another ability, which I will talk about here in a little bit, it's fucking amazing. Yeah, Sleeper Hit has a 50% chance of putting like sleep on the enemy, I think. Yeah, Persecutor does, basically you have abilities that put status ailments on enemies, and then you have abilities to exploit that. One thing I need to mention about using Persecutor and Cobra and Victimizer, If you do successfully use the skill on the enemy, it will remove the status from them automatically, no matter what. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just, keep spamming the skill over and over again, it doesn't work like that. You have to inflict the enemy with the status again in order for that to actually go into effect, right? In order for you to use it again. So, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of these skills later on. They're okay for the beginning parts of the game, but, Dual wielding, obviously, this is good for Erik because he gets dually deadly, which makes attacks with both weapons equally effective. So yeah, you want to pick this up eventually. Assassin Stab, an attack on an enemy's weak point that can sometimes kill them instantly. I don't know, does anybody like this skill? I don't know, I always like Fatal Flash better. And one thing I forgot to mention about Fatal Flash, yeah, not only does it do 2.8 times your base attack power, but it also has a 40% chance of instantly killing the target. So that's really good, right? Assassin Stab, I don't remember what the kill chance for this one is. Yeah, and some of these here, like critical chance of wielding, attack power wielding, nastier knives. Yeah, this will increase the chance you can inflict status ailments with knives. That's alright, I guess. Again, I'm not really a huge fan of knives with Erik later on. I'm more of a sword guy. This dodge chance plus 3% though, you want to pick this up under knives. This actually is not tied to the weapon. This is actually universal. And then HP Hoover attacks an enemy and absorbs some of their HP. I want to say it's like 25%, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Okay, boomerangs. Now, my problem with boomerangs in the early part of the game is the accuracy. The accuracy of boomerangs isn't that good. So I won't be really using a whole lot of boomerangs early on. We have Ooze Bruiser here. It's an attack that hits all enemies, and it does 50% damage to slime type enemies. 50% extra damage. So that's pretty good, I guess. More accuracy, more attack power. Metal Liquor, an attack that hits all enemies and can slice through metal-bodied foes with ease. Again, it's one of those skills that I just don't use. Maybe it's good for killing metal enemies, I don't know. I'd rather put my skill points elsewhere, though. Boomerang, a brutal attack with a pair of boomerangs that can deal damage to all enemies. Yeah, this is okay. There's a better skill than Boomerang, though, but this one's alright. Again, I'm not saying boomerangs are terrible, they're not. Unfortunately, for boomerangs, I mean, a lot of them in the early game are just weak attack power-wise, and Erik's strength just isn't high enough to compensate. I don't know, in my experience, it's better to wait till towards the end of the game to start really using boomerangs. You should prioritize knives, swords, and guile skills instead, in my experience. Playing on Draconian. Maybe boomerangs work better on the baseline difficulty. I don't know. I've never played on the baseline difficulty, so if you know, let me know. Pretty much the best boomerang skill in the game is Double Down. An attack on all enemies with a pair of boomerangs that can make them more susceptible to status ailments. Yeah, it does good damage too, man. Double Down is very good. It's basically the upgraded version of Boomerang. Starburst Throw, don't use this. Do not use this. It's worthless. I don't like Starburst Throw. Every time I tried this skill, it sucked. And then you get Pep Up Power Up under boomerangs too. Very hard to unlock. Well, actually, yeah, I don't usually end up unlocking this until closer to the end of the game, but whatever. Okay. Guile. Half inch. Gotta get this, man. That's a must. And yeah, you get a bunch of great passives. which are really handy. Dodgy character employs a fancy. I'm sorry, I can't read. Employs fancy footwork to increase the user's ability to evade attacks. I think what this does is it doubles the character's evasion rate for like 3 or 4 turns. So if Erik has a base evade stat of like 23% or something like that, it will basically double it. Which is pretty good. I don't really use this skill all that much, but it's pretty good. Okay. Here we go. This is the skill of all skills for Erik, the Divide skill. Creates 2 doppelgangers, tripling the damage done by attacks. So basically, use this skill 1 round, and then the next round you attack, you'll basically have 2 doppelgangers that will also attack. So, yeah, you can basically do 3 times the damage. So if you can combine this skill with skills like Persecutor and Victimizer to do just gargantuan amounts of damage. Or Fatal Flash. Don't forget about Fatal Flash. But in the early going, Victimizer and Persecutor comboed with frickin' Divide is probably the most powerful combination in the game in Act 1. So yeah, this is Erik's bread and butter skill right here, man, the Divide skill. You want to get it ASAP. Sticky Fingers, this increases the steal chance with ½ inch. I don't remember what it is. If you want to put that stuff in the comments section, feel free. More dodge chance, gotta like that. Critical Claim, this is also very good. A dream ability that can ensure a critical hit on the enemy. So it's a guaranteed critical hit. And you can also combo... I'm sorry, what did I do? Oh yeah, you can combo Critical Claim with Divide. So you can get 3 critical hits off on your second turn after you use Divide, which is really, really powerful. The only downside to the skill is the gargantuan MP cost. 64 MP cost, which is insane. And then you get Pep Chance plus 5%. Basically, that'll just increase the time it takes, or it'll reduce the time it takes to pep up by 5%, essentially. And then Erik gets Falcon Slash, if you care. I don't care. I'm not a huge fan of Falcon Slash. I'm a fan of the Falcon Blade, though, and the Uber Falcon Blade. Those weapons are really good, but I'm not really a huge fan of the Falcon Slash skill. But anyways, that's pretty much everything I want to go over in this video. So yeah, hopefully you got some good information out of that. I explained it the best as I could off the top of my head. I mean, I don't have like, an ability sheet in front of me, although I probably should start doing that, man. Anyway, that's all for this episode, Dragon Quest XI, and in the next episode, we're going to go fight the Tricky Devil. This is Veteran 0121. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.